Hello everyone, and welcome to a special edition of GodSaw's Turnbuckle here with the, see, there's the fuck up right now. I'm just going to go ahead and, we're going to roll with it. Usually I cut those out when I screw up, so we'll just start again. Welcome to an episode of GodSaw's Turnbuckle. This is a very special episode of the wrestling podcast here on YouTube and Daily Motion at this time. I've also got a very special guest with me. I've got Terrence Carter, aka T-Dot here. He also runs the Pin to the Mat podcast. So go right ahead, say hello to everybody, and say where you need to go to get to Pin to the Mat as well.
Oh, yeah. Hey, I'm T-Dot, like he said. You can find us on SoundCloud at soundcloud.com/Pin to the Mat. I also do the CFG podcast, which is the Comic Freaks and Geeks podcast. If any of y'all are comic book fans, you should go check that out on SoundCloud and on iTunes. And like if you're interested in anything else that's freaky or geeky, you can check out confreaksandgeeks.com for all those types of articles.
And I think they have a YouTube as well, which I'll go ahead and put their channel into the description.
Yeah.
After we're done with this, if you want to give me your, I'll try to find your links for both of those, and I'll try to get those into the description. If you guys want to see those, that'll be a little bit easier way of getting down to it. So this is a special episode, obviously, of GodSaw's Turnbuckle. We are going to be doing predictions for Money in the Bank.
Yes, we are.
Right now they have 5 matches announced, though. You found one on CBSSports.com. That would be the pre-show match.
Well, for now.
Yeah, for now.
They can change it at any time.
Of course. Just like the betting odds for all this, it changes probably at the whim of Vince McMahon. Yeah. But the pre-show match that we saw was Breezango going up against the Colognes.
Yeah.
I would probably assume, just the way that they're going with everything, I would assume Breezango would go over in this match.
Yeah, there's no reason right now for Colognes to win anything, unfortunately. Like, I don't hate them. They're good wrestlers, like, but Breezango's the hot thing right now.
Oh, yeah.
Like, the hot newer thing. And so, like, I feel like they're building up Breezango. Hopefully this will play into, like, who attacked Breeze during SmackDown and maybe continue that storyline. I'm hoping that the attackers were American Alpha and they're turning them heel.
That's what a lot of people are going with right now. I also kind of agree with that. Obviously, I would predict for Breezango to be the winners of that particular match. The only other match I could see potentially being on the card, and it would be a kind of a reach for them to do it, would be Aiden English going up against Luke Harper, because they've been doing that social media feud. But I don't know, they haven't really said anything on that one.
Yeah, like I haven't seen anything on the main shows about that feud. I've seen seen it on like YouTube and stuff.
Yeah,
but nothing anywhere else. And it's kind of disappointing. I really like Luke Harper.
Yeah, well, he's definitely for the guy of his size, he's definitely really good inside of the ring. And actually can cut a good promo as well. So it's kind of sad that we don't see anything with like Luke Harper or anything in that sense. And also, it's very saddening that they brought up Ty Dillinger now.
Yeah.
I was so happy when he got brought up after WrestleMania, but now they don't use him at all.
Yeah, I was hoping that he would have like a longer feud with like Rude and maybe get the NXT title before he leaves, but unfortunately that wasn't in the plans for him.
Yeah, definitely. I guess not in the plans, and by that, when Vince saw the 10 chance at the Royal Rumble, was like, I need that guy.
Pretty much.
Which I'm gonna, which I don't mind going into that voice. I've heard fun rumors. We're gonna get away from the predictions just for a brief moment, because I heard a funny story that I don't think is true in any way, shape, or form. You know how T.J. Perkins is now TJP?
Yeah.
So there was, I think it was 434, that fake wrestling news site. They put up an article saying the reason why that they changed it is because Vince McMahon hates the restaurant Perkins. And it just is like, you know what, if there's any truth to this, I could just think about it backstage. You have Vince going like, Perkins, I hate that restaurant, their food sucks. And you just have some random guy in the background going like, so what do you want to do with TJ Perkins? We have a guy named Perkins? Change his name. I don't know what. Just call him TJP. Get rid of Perkins. I hate it so much. Yeah.
What even restaurant is Perkins? Like, I've never been there.
It's more of a family-friendly, more breakfast style. It's
So like a Denny's or IHOP or something?
It's a Denny's. It's an IHOP. It also has like dinner stuff to go along with it. So yeah, it's more Denny's than IHOP. I was almost about to say Applebee's, but they don't do breakfast at all. So
Yeah.
used to go to it like for that one. I used to go to it on Mother's Day. We a lot. We get the entire family together and actually take up a good chunk of the restaurant at that time.
Nice.
But yeah, back onto it as we had to get off track for a moment. So let's go into the main card since we both picked Breezango winning that pre-show match. Yeah. The first match to really go with is with the SmackDown Women's title. At least that's the first one that was on the card to show, which is going to be Naomi going up against Lana. Lana, she's just getting into, well, she's finally showing up in the ring. She's had matches down in NXT, not on their television, obviously. Yeah. And the only time we've seen her on main roster have a match was the 2 seconds she ran in on WrestleMania 32 and did a kick.
Yeah.
So far. So you have, obviously, Naomi as the champion. It'll be interesting to see how they place this match on the card. Based off of the women's Money in the Bank ladder match, which we'll talk about a little bit later. Because that can lead to a potential cash-in if they wanted to do a same-night cash-in on that particular show. But in this case, I don't... Let's not do it. Of course, they could do it for shock value, but I don't think they're going to give Lana that title right off the bat.
I don't think... Like... I don't want to say like anything bad about Lana because like I feel like I haven't seen enough of her.
Yeah,
but
we've
like,
really only seen one move.
Yeah, and like she had like a what was it, like a sit down spine buster that she did this.
Yeah, she had she got Naomi into like a spine buster / almost Batista bomb type position, and then she hooked the arm behind her and then did a kind of spine buster power bomb to Naomi. It looked really good, actually. She did, the move itself looks really good. So you have at least a good finishing move for her. It's going to be based off of how her training has been, and it's been rumored that she actually had trained for the longest time before teaming up with Rusev, because I think they had deemed her as a bit of injury prone for a period of time, and we did see that because they were supposed to do a match with, when that horrendous storyline was going, where Dolph Ziggler and Lana was going to team up to go up against Rusev. Yeah, Rusev and Summer Rae. But then Lana got a hand injury and couldn't do the match. That's why we continued on with Dolph and Rusev, and then, well, kayfabe got broken, and they decided just to nix the storyline altogether.
Yeah.
Thank you. On that one, from about a year ago. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Lana can do in the ring. Hopefully she doesn't wrestle in the evening gown.
Yeah, I hope that she has like a singlet or something. Yeah. Something better than that. Like I expect that they're gonna make Lana look strong, but Naomi's coming with the win. Yeah,
definitely. That's what I definitely feel like. And like I said, based on where this match shows up on the card and where the women's Money in the Bank match shows up on the card, might determine, or they might tease whether or not they do a same night cash in, depending on how that women's Money in the Bank goes.
Yeah, I could definitely see them doing like the women's Money in the Bank first, and then the men's last, just to give them like space.
Yeah.
In between, and like that's a definite possibility that somebody tries to cash in.
Definitely so. So this is going to bring us on to the next match. It's going to be the Usos going up against the New Day for the tag team titles. Yeah. Since New Day has come back, since like when Kofi came back from the ankle injury and everything, that first promo they cut on SmackDown was seriously? Where was these promos on Raw? That was amazing stuff that they put on there. I'm not gonna lie, I'm always gonna have that vision in my head of Big E going like, you have those titles. We like some. we want some. It was amazing stuff. It's like, where was this? Where was this for the longest time? You have been funny on Raw, but this was freaking amazing.
Yeah, they came out strong. Yeah. Really strong.
And they came out, and of course, they came out strong, looking strong again on SmackDown this week in the 8-man tag.
Yeah.
Where they actually gave it a good chunk of time for that 8-man tag, too, where it was Kofi and Xavier going with Breezango going up against the Colognes and the Usos. And Xavier actually got the pin. And
yeah.
It'll be. I bet you it's going to probably be Big E and Kofi this time, but it was good to see Xavier Woods in the ring.
Yeah.
And still wish we would see him a little bit more in there, too.
Yeah, I hope they get him more in the rotation.
Yeah.
I like seeing him. Like, no offense to like Kofi and Big E, like they're great too. It's like I like all three of them, so I don't really mind. But like it is kind of lopsided against Xavier right now. Like,
yeah.
As far as like getting him into the match, I would like to see a little bit more of him.
And honestly, I wouldn't mind them doing something like the Shield did way back when, with the whole aspect of one guy's a singles competitor.
Oh, yeah.
And
yeah,
maybe
definitely.
Xavier could be that one. Or, I think, I'll bring up Little Karibo on this one, the guy who does Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged and everything. He does the Mark Remark as well. Mm-hmm. He had pitched something in there where all three of them, they don't break up. They support each other, but they're all going on singles pushes.
Yeah.
Where, like, Big E could have gone up against the main champion, which if they stayed on Raw would have been Brock or something in that sense. And you had Kofi and Xavier going off and doing their own thing, but they support each other still, type thing.
My dream scenario is that like they go after the main belt, but they still keep the Freebird rule, so they're all the WWE champion, and they all just share it.
That would be good too. I think that would be good and hilarious. I think you would want to try that with either the U.S. title or the Intercontinental title first, though, before doing that with the WWE or the Universal title. Actually, you could probably do it with the Universal title now, because it's now just becoming legitimate at this point. But yeah, going into more of the match, where I feel the prediction is going to go, I was aiming for the Usos because I don't feel that they were going to give them the titles right away. They're kind of like how they treated Charlotte, and how they're probably going to treat Lana as well. Even though they have a title match right away, they're not going to get it in their first try.
Yeah,
but I don't think it's going to be full-on definitive, or the only way I see the Usos winning is by cheating, and to keep the feud going in some way. So I'm actually going to probably go more... It almost feels like you have to have a DQ of some kind on these shows now. So I'm thinking this is where that DQ is going to happen, because really... that's the only match that can happen in, is that there's a DQ in. So I feel like the New Day's going to gain the victory, but they're not going to gain the titles in some way, shape, or form. So I'm going to definitely go with the New Day on this case.
Yeah, I do agree with you that there's going to be cheating, but I think it's going to be cheating in a way that'll still be kind of legal. So the Usos will still pick up the win. This will drive the New Day to be mad, you know how the New Day are. They're never actually really mad. They get fierce and stuff. We want those titles, but it's gonna drive them to be all right, you got one. You're not gonna do it again. We're ready for you. We're on to your tricks, type thing.
Okay. No, that's definitely a scenario that could be possible as well. But this brings us to what I would say is one of the two big matches of the night.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's the first Money in the Bank ladder match involving the women. So it's going to be Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, Natalya, Tamina, and Carmella. For history purposes, WWE has never done a ladder match with the women on the main roster. The only record that you can have of the women doing a ladder match is way back in 2002 in OVW with Beth Phoenix and Jillian Hall. As a matter of fact, I think that made their ladder match DVD a long time ago. And it was definitely an interesting sight then. But now you've got all five of these women doing a ladder match. They've technically never worked a ladder match, though you've had Charlotte work a Hell in a Cell. She's worked an Iron Man match. You've had Natalya and Becky Lynch in this match, who have each worked tables matches. Yeah. And I believe Carmella's at least worked a no DQ match.
Yeah.
In that sense. And the brawl that they had in that Fatal 5, what was supposed to be the Fatal 5-way for the number 1 contendership, I thought was really good.
Oh, yeah.
So, even though they didn't use ladders in that at that point.
Oh, yeah. Charlotte powerbomb.
The Charlotte powerbomb to Natalya through the announce table. But, like, the entire brawl itself looked really good.
Yeah.
So it makes you feel like, okay, they can do something with this match. Mm-hmm. And I think each of them, they're willing to go really far. And I know Charlotte's willing to go extremely far in her matches. There was a rumor that she wanted to do a moonsault off of the top of the Hell in the Cell when she was going to have that match with Sasha.
Please no.
And I think Vince was like, nix.
I would have been amazed, but I'm like, no, I want you alive.
Yeah, like, that would have been a very
it's one
scary
thing
moment.
to do a Shane and like fall off the top. But like, no, please don't propel yourself, because if one miscalculation, that's painful.
I think in this match, in the terms of spots, I don't know what they're going to do with the ladders themselves. But the ones I can kind of assume, I think James Ellsworth is going to take a big bump in this match. Since he's going to be around. And it's almost guaranteed, I don't think off the top of the ladder, but somewhere off of the ladder, Charlotte is coming off with the moonsault. Yeah. In some way, shape, or form. In the terms of big bumps. So it'll be interesting to see what they come up with creatively. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't be shocked if Tamina comes off the top of the ladder with a big splash.
Oh yeah, I want to see that like through a ladder.
Yeah, through a ladder. I feel like they might try that, unless they go with proper wrestling booking, and if they need it for the main event match, the main event Money in the Bank, they probably will hold off on that in this particular match. But it depends on how they want to book it. They obviously want to book this to be big. Yeah. And they need to book it to be big. Especially with the way that they've treated the Raw women recently, basically on the aspect of screwing up Bayley at that point. Yeah. And the Alexa Bliss storyline. That they're kind of...
the lack of Nia Jax.
That's very true as well. Very much a lack of her being around, and it feels like that the Raw Women's division is kind of in a reboot mode, that they're trying to get it back to being where it was at, like when you had Sasha and Bayley and Charlotte on the program itself. Yeah. So they're trying to reboot that, and it definitely is showing that the SmackDown Women's division at this time, it's booked stronger, it's booked more confidently, and it feels like it's big. Yeah. And
it definitely does.
So they definitely want this to be big in some way. And like I said, if this match shows up on the early portions of the card and Naomi and Lana's later, there's definitely a chance at that cash-in, like we were saying earlier. Now, this is an interesting one, because I have it written down what I have, but I'm still torn in this match. Because I do have a heel winning the men's Money in the Bank. I feel like a face should be winning one of these. But the only face in this match that should be winning is Becky Lynch.
Yes, most definitely. Charlotte doesn't need this. Charlotte is already the top star. Yeah. Like, top without having the belt. Yeah. Like, the biggest you can be without having the belt on SmackDown. So, like, she doesn't need this. Like, props to her for being in the first women's one, but like she doesn't need this win as much as the other 4 women do.
Oh, definitely. And you can even say to Charlotte's character that the Money in the Bank contract is almost beneath the character. Like, she can just win the title straight up.
Yeah, like, I don't see why she would, like, after this she wouldn't just be like win a match for number 1 contendership and be right there.
So, I like I said, I'm torn. I think you're sticking with Becky Lynch.
Yeah, I'm pretty much sticking with Becky Lynch just because I have the Usos winning. Yeah. I just have too many heels. Yeah. Like, as you'll see coming up with my later picks, but like Naomi was originally my only face I had winning, and so like this was the one that I could like play around with, and so I went with Becky Lynch just because she needs something.
Yeah.
Like Charlotte's the biggest face. Naomi's the champ, and so she's like really good there. And then like Becky Lynch is kind of like just like background player when she was like the first SmackDown Women's Champion. She should be like up there, always be a threat, but she doesn't really feel like a threat right now.
Definitely so, and it does feel like they need to do something with Becky Lynch. I think if starts the show and they go with this right away, like they did with Shinsuke kicking off Backlash, and try to do something big right off the bat, maybe, oddly enough, it would almost feel like that maybe it's time for a Becky Lynch heel turn at that point, almost as well. Where she comes out and instead of like just saying straight up I'm going to face Naomi and cash in now, she comes out there and like bashes her with the briefcase or something like that, a la most heels.
I mean, like whoever wins this, if this is before Naomi and Lana, it could happen where like whoever wins just interrupts the match, bash Naomi in the back of the head, and be like, "All right, I'm winning the belt now."
A la Seth Rollins at WrestleMania 31.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like this match is going to actually be good.
Yeah.
I feel
like this card should be good. Like.
Oh yeah, I feel like this should be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And in every way, shape, or form, the ladder matches usually deliver in some way, shape, or form. Or at least one of the ladder matches usually delivers in some way on the pay-per-view. And this, like I said, when they initially announced it, or when they were initially saying something about it, I was like, I don't know if they wanted to do that with the Money in the Bank right off the bat. Why don't you do one-on-one ladder matches before doing a women's Money in the Bank? But like after I saw the brawl, I was like, okay, this could be good.
Yeah, yeah, and like even though there's only 5 matches on the main card, that just means that they're giving each of the matches the time that they need. And
they can still give the time, and I still feel like we're going to see a Fashion Files on the pay-per-view as well for that. So this is going to bring us now to the WWE title match. Oh, you got something?
Did you say you're a pick?
I did not. I'm torn between Becky Lynch, Carmella, but also my dark horse Tamina.
Yeah, Tamina was my other pick. Actually, that I was going to go with. Yeah. Just because like it's kind of out of left field, and I feel like with the right booking, they could build her up to be SmackDown's monster, kind of like they're doing Nia Jax for Raw, or at least they should be all the time. But sometimes they forget on Raw. But that's another thing for another time. Yeah. Tamina should be like the monster for SmackDown.
You know what? I had written down as Becky Lynch. But I still want to see this scenario with James Ellsworth. So I'm going to go with Carmella.
Gonna go with Carmella?
I'm going to go with Carmella because you can have it as like he's almost like Aaron Bagboy with the briefcase or something in that sense. There could be some entertaining value to go along with it. And out of the heels, they could still book Tamina to be a big monster without that briefcase. And I still feel like with the heels, Carmella's probably the true choice. Yeah. Natalya, again, you can just book her to be strong at any given time and go for the title. Yeah. She doesn't need something like the Money in the Bank contract. So, yeah, we're going to go with Carmella. I was initially going to go with Becky Lynch, but I think I'm gonna do Carmella here because I feel like they could do something with that as well. So this does bring us to that WWE title match. Yeah. Jinder Mahal and Randy Orton. First of all, I didn't do a live reaction for Backlash. I kind of wish I did now, but I had gotten back for Rambats a little bit late. What was your reaction at Backlash when Jinder Mahal won?
I was like, they did it. They actually did it. And I was just laughing. Yeah, there's nothing else you can do except laugh.
I was sitting there, sitting there watching it, and I'm like, wait a minute, Mahal's behind him. They're gonna do it. Oh my God! Yes, they're gonna do it. India. Do this. It's your third biggest market. Try to get something more out of this.
Yeah.
It was great, and I actually enjoyed the match too. I thought it was actually good.
It was a good match.
And I love how Randy can be the one guy who can literally break kayfabe and probably not get in trouble because when he dumped one of the same brothers on the table, he just
second brother. Oh goodness!
He's like,
yeah. Like I made that face and then he made that face. I was like, wow,
too good.
At least he know.
So,
oh, God.
with the build that they did with going into that Backlash match, it was kind of Jinder Mahal being evil foreigner.
Yeah.
Basic stuff.
Yeah, basic.
Going into this one, though, it feels like they've changed that up a little bit. That he's more of a guy who's just looking to prove himself.
Yeah.
In every way. And he's still saying everyone's doubting him, but he's saying everybody's doubting him. It's not even just like his... It's not like all just U.S. and everything in that sense. Yeah. And it looked like they went a different route with it, which I was completely okay with because you can do that whole
evil foreigner
thing.
It's kind of like an old trope,
And technically they're doing it, quote unquote, with Kevin Owens, but they're doing it uniquely.
Yeah.
And I like what they're doing with Kevin Owens. But his promo work, I think, has been at least relatively decent.
Oh, yeah.
His match quality is actually pretty good as well. It's obviously not top-notch, best stuff.
He's not AJ Styles, but he's holding
he's
holding it.
Yeah, he's not an AJ Styles. He's not a Kevin Owens. He's not a Shinsuke Nakamura. But he's holding it, and he looks the part.
Yes, he definitely looks the part.
Like, the size. And I'm going to give him benefit of the doubt until proven wrong that he is legit.
Yeah.
In every way, in the way he looks. Because I had to go back like a couple months when he was still doing stuff with Rusev over on Raw. Mm-hmm. And it's like he looked jacked then. And then when he came back, he didn't look as jacked, but you saw a progression of him getting bigger and bigger or more ripped in his body.
He's definitely on that like Triple H-esque bodybuilding type plan because seeing his body grow is kind of reminds me of like how Triple H was and how like his body grew and like back when he was like constant wrestler. You can definitely make comparisons to their sizes.
Okay, yeah, definitely so. And it's been an interesting thing. It's that fresh look everyone's been wanting. Mm-hmm. It may not be with the guy that they want, but it is somebody new and it's a fresh face in the main event scene.
Yeah.
At that point. So, in this match, I feel like they're telegraphing it.
Oh, yeah.
They're telegraphing this so hard.
And it's in Randy's hometown, and it's all his family's gonna be there, and it's like, okay.
They're even announcing like Ric Flair, Harley Race. Harley Race after his injury probably won't show up on the show. Because I think he had broken both of his legs or something like that.
Really?
That's why they had made it very subtle and very brief that the announcer said we wish Harley Race the best of luck.
Yeah.
And everything because he had injured himself recently. But there's been talks of like Ted DiBiase showing up and a bunch of other legends showing up and maybe a potential segment on the show. And though I liked how they ended their portion with SmackDown, where you have Jinder Mahal just cutting the promo, Randy Orton's music hits, he sends the Singh brothers RKO out of nowhere. Why have they not been doing this more often?
Yeah,
just RKOs out of nowhere with everything. But like I said, it feels so telegraphed. I don't think they want to put that title back on Randy Orton right now, especially as his face character. And they're gonna do something with Jinder Mahal, at least maybe going into SummerSlam. I think he keeps it till SummerSlam.
Yeah, I think there was rumors of like a program with him and Cena.
Yes, which is gonna be interesting to see when he comes back with that whole free agent thing.
Yeah.
And there's the rumors that like maybe between Battleground and SummerSlam that feud's going to happen.
Yeah.
Or it may go into SummerSlam. I don't 100% know on that one. But I feel like Jinder Mahal comes out with this title, and he comes out winning clean. He doesn't come out with like a DQ or anything in that sense.
To make him look strong.
Yeah.
He has to be strong in this one.
He definitely has to look strong in this one. Even if it is with Singh brother interference, that's fine, again, in that sense. But he's going to get, in the end, the definitive, like, pinfall victory or something like that.
Yeah, this is definitely, like, end of the feud match right here.
So, this brings us what I think will actually probably be the main event of the night, too.
Oh, yes, most definitely.
The men's Money in the Bank ladder match. Kevin Owens, AJ Styles, Baron Corbin, Sami Zayn, Dolph Ziggler, and Shinsuke Nakamura. I have not minded this build.
Oh, yeah.
Going into this. You can almost make a case for most people to win it, though, even though AJ Styles best wrestler in the company and probably the world, maybe outside of Kenny Omega and Okada right now, who are putting on great matches over in New Japan.
Yeah, I still need to see that one from Sunday.
Yes, I still need to watch the second one right now myself. Haven't had the time. I don't think he would win. I don't think he wins this one.
No, there's no same reason that Charlotte doesn't need to win hers. AJ Styles doesn't need to win his.
Yeah. The true dark horse and probably the person I feel like should win it. I don't think he will. It's probably Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn could probably benefit the most from having the Money in the Bank. Dolph Ziggler, they've been giving him clean wins and everything in that sense to kind of make it believable that he could win.
He's not winning.
But he's not winning.
No way.
Kevin Owens, he has the U.S. title. They could do something interesting with that, but I feel like they're going to have him and Shinsuke Nakamura going after each other, so they don't want the briefcase to go along with that.
Yeah, like, I agree with that. Like, if it wasn't for the Shinsuke Nakamura Kevin Owens feud that I think is going to happen, I would be down with Kevin Owens doing double duty. He wouldn't be the first to have a belt and the Money in the Bank briefcase.
Rob Van Dam did that. Back with the second one for a little while. And I feel like Shinsuke Nakamura actually kind of disqualified himself from winning it by grabbing the briefcase on Tuesday at the end of the show. So that kind of leaves one person. Corbin. And I think that's going to be where they go with it. And
this has been my pick since Backlash.
Okay.
Just because I said whoever loses between Sami Zayn and Baron Corbin will be Money in the Bank winner. And Sami Zayn won that, which surprised me.
Yeah.
But I was like, all right. And so since Sammy won, I'm sticking with that prediction and saying Baron Corbin's going to be the Money in the Bank winner.
And he was the last person to basically get knocked down on Tuesday by Shinsuke with a Kinshasa before he climbed the ladder to grab that briefcase. And even though he's been losing, he's been looking strong. He lost to Sami Zayn again on SmackDown, but in a matter of moments. And then he just beat the crap out of Sami Zayn. Yeah. So he got his heat back and everything in that sense. I feel like he's at that point that he could be a top heel if they really want him to, and if they really want him to keep that, keep the Money in the Bank for a while too. They can build him up to it, and he cashes in. And the great thing about this one now, with it being in June or July for Money in the Bank, is that you don't have to. You can wait till after WrestleMania as well to cash in, to have that cash in happen, like what they did with Dolph Ziggler. He waited until after WrestleMania to do it, and you've had long. I feel like Baron Corbin might be a long holder of the Money in the Bank.
I'm gonna disagree with you there.
Okay.
I think that Baron Corbin will have a belt before the end of the year.
Okay.
I do think that Jinder Mahal will have a pretty lengthy reign, but then he will get beat by somebody. But as soon as somebody beats Jinder Mahal, you're going to hear Baron Corbin's music.
Okay.
And he's going to win that belt, and he's going to hold it for a little bit, and then I think AJ Styles takes it from him, and then we have AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura at WrestleMania.
That is the definite case there, because that's where a lot of people thinking are going. They're wanting to do Shinsuke and AJ Styles at some point in time, and probably WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Hopefully they let them have the barn burner that they had at Wrestle Kingdom 10.
Yeah, that's definitely WrestleMania caliber match. Right
there. But there's the other aspect. I'm sticking with Baron Corbin regardless. Yeah. You have Shinsuke win the Money in the Bank, and he pulls a Mr. Kennedy, what he was initially saying before he got injured and everything.
He says he's going to use it at WrestleMania?
I'm going to cash in at WrestleMania. I want whomever champion is at WrestleMania, which automatically throws a Raw person winning the Royal Rumble or something in that sense to set up that particular feud.
Yeah.
They could go that route. I don't think they will go that route, but it could be an interesting narrative because they have AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura being buddy-buddy, which they never really were in Japan in the terms of their storylines. And they could do that whereas like AJ gets the belt back, but then he realizes he has to face Shinsuke Nakamura at WrestleMania at that point in time. So they could still go that route as well. But I don't think they will. So Baron Corbin it is. So we at least differed on two of them. So that's good. That is definitely good on that one. It's better than agreeing on everything, I guess. On that. So that is pretty much it for the predictions. I know this one ran a little bit long, but it happens from time to time.
It's good.
And I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I hope you guys enjoy Money in the Bank when it goes on the air on Sunday. And peace out. This has been GodSaw's Turnbuckle. Have a great rest of your night.
Peace.